Our dudes, this is part 3 of initiation by Jesus and my 4 other lives. So, like, yeah, as I was talking about, I've had 4 lives basically that's been aware, basically scripted by the Vedas. And I was initiated in this life by Jesus on May the 11th of 1996. Why I said June, I don't know. But May 1996, May the 11th after midnight, when he appeared to me as prophesied that he would ride on the power and the glory on a cloud. Right, and he did, and I see it in my mind's eye. These are facts. I'm very textbook, and it's actually real. When he said he's coming, I don't think he's going to come as you think he is in like fleshly incarnate again. Maybe he is, but more likely he probably ain't, because he can appear to his witnesses like myself and others in the mind's eye while he lives in the spiritual universe of the Vaikuntha planets, which is actually our original spiritual abode where we all came from, while we're down here in the material nature. So it's dealing with these facts of how it really is in the whole scape of life and scope of life, really. So when he appeared to me in my mind's eye as prophesied, he basically has taken away basically an old past life regression I went into as a previous life, and basically a temporary thief I was in his life as well in my when I was 19, and brought me up to speed. But I went into the Vedic world to the Father, which he himself was turned on in his lost years, as they call it, from 12 to 30 years of age. Like most of us are aware, spiritual shopping, searching life, and find out about our spiritual identity and what's going on in life. Again, if you're not born into it, you see, you're not born into that rich soil of education from birth, and you rediscover all you are, and you want to discover more. In his day, in the age of Kali that we're in, he was in the more of an ebb state of the ebb state, when it was all just horse and car, and communication and delivery was slower. Unlike now, everything transport's quicker, taking you 2 to 4, 8 hours at most to get any other country on an aeroplane to the communication, where now it's all light speed, basically on like digital. His way was slower, but everyone's still doing this, still same transglobal moving about and migration, and holiday making and sightseeing and soul searching, like he was doing, and he was basically turned on like we were. Just took him longer to get there, in places. So nothing changes. That there was just basically a star, excellent pupil, and he wasn't also the only begotten son, because if you look over the incarnations of God, he had other sons in his other incarnation, Krishna, Rama, and they had sons. Other incarnations of God where he had sons and daughters. So he said he's the only begotten son, and he wasn't actually born through God. He was born through Gabriel, who was a high Brahmin priest angel with Mary. So he wasn't actually born technically as a son, literally through the father and one of his wives, Lakshmi wives at the time. It was through another daughter and another son of an angel. But you can all still be sons and daughters, in the first light of lampstand. You see, it's a state of mind of consciousness, which he was trying to prove. It still makes him the chief Pradyumna expansion of all the sons and daughters, you see, regardless. Do you understand this? This is to really look at things in a clearer perspective. You see, when I get all these cheesy false verses you get from the Christian churches, which I'm not down with, and I don't get into the Christian churches, but you hear it, or I hear it going on the TV, or you hear it about, and people saying Jesus was the only begotten son. God come down as his own begotten son. No, he didn't. God doesn't come down as his own son. That's just mad tripping, mad nonsense verses that makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know how some other people may find that sounds clever, but it sounds absolutely ridiculous, and is. It's one of these pet peeves spiritually that I have against the Christian church, which is not true. It's just all manipulation. When you really think about it and you study and get more Vedically intelligent, rather than just reading the Old Testament, you will wake up to that. You see, there's a bigger picture going on. You see, as Jesus said, I'm the way to the Father, so you can say scripturally, I'm the way to the Father as well. You see, and that's what he is about. It's about basically the resurrection of way of knowing that you are sons and daughters in the first light and lampstand. If you live in the light first light and lampstand in your behaviour as well, sexually, and you can say diatrically, you see, in your behaviours, you're not causing harm, loss or theft to anyone else in your passing, then, it's a resurrected pass mark. Because what Jesus does is basically commend you into basically being picked up at the end of your life into basically like a Vaikanta Loka, rather than by the Vishnu Dutas, rather than being picked up by the Yamadutas, you see, which deal with for the Father Vishnu Almighty, the God, basically the reincarnation side. So it depends what you want out of life and where you want to go. But I mean, I think people need to know this more, that these things are actually all apparent and basically functioning. And that's because you can't see it at the moment in your physical eyes, you know what I mean? It's not like that the veil of the material nature and what's going on, that we only see a little percentage wise of 0.5 or whatever they say it is. And the rest is all covered over by the Yoga Maya, you see, of the physical material nature we see called the Yoga Maya. But behind all the scenes, you see, there's a higher level dimensionally going on where this is all happening. I mean, if you had moments of having astral projections and whatever, as you'll see, there's another level going on, you see, and there's a higher, more subtle level going on as well after that as well. It's all different planes of states. But yeah, these things I like to clear up. Whether people believe what I'm saying, you're too conditioned in your life in this life to deal with what I'm saying, that's fair enough. But I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I'm saying it because I'm not a churchy Christian. I'm a son of the Father in the tribe of Jesus who lives as a heavenly householder, which is the name for Kama, another name for Jesus, Kama, the cupidal householders, you see. And what the game is basically trying to bring at that time in our life is basically a non-monetary world, see, and being non-married. Now, you don't have to do that because you're not ready to resurrect. But see, people like me really are. It doesn't mean you can't have children and live with women. We just don't marry with each other. See, that's our difference. And see, the game also is to bring, see, in the four aims of life, Kama being the head cupidal son, as I said, is to bring the moksha, which is liberation, and our dharma, which is our vocations and careers, in the economic system, which is called the artha, you see. And at the moment, see, the artha at the moment in this vineyard, the economic system is being hijacked by the banking systems, the legal systems, and the government and the kings, the subterranean Azoric kings of the world, you see. All these as a industry, these 3-4 industries of fortification over us as an automation. So the game is to break them by lawful rebellion. So we can bring into the Krita Yuga, the flow state, which has been prophesied to be happening in the next 427,000 years, which I will argue, because God calmed down as Lord Chaitanya 542 years ago, he prophesied that it'd be a 10,000 golden age. So then that means it's not going to be 427,000 years, it's going to be now. Any time within now, make the 10,000 year golden age to happen, and only we can do that. And if you look at the scope of all the politics going on in the world right now and the trend, a lot of people are voting across the countries in their own democratic systems, right? So this is what's going to eventually start happening quite soon, within the next 5 or 50 years, you could put it down to. See, can you see that? Yeah, these things are all going to sort of start taking apparent sometime soon. But anyway, I'll leave it there. I'll go on to other vlogs, but just so you know, and have a nice day, whatever you're doing. See you later.